What's the bitchiest, most pretentious entitled thing someone can have in their online profile? Always the smartest person in the room. Then you're in some pretty fucking dense rooms, aren't you, you numpty? If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you are either mistaken, or you're in the wrong room. Or you're sitting in an empty room. Or a kindergarten teacher. Only idiots think they're always the smartest person in the room. Only idiots say they're the smartest person in a room. Smart people get told it by the other occupants of the room. Probably won't swipe right on you. I don't message first. I see this on Bumble a lot. Like, do you know how this app works? Hate it. It's like, hi, I'm so and so. I'm not going to put any effort into this relationship whatsoever. I bet most, if not all, of those profiles link to their IG and the sole purpose of the dating profile is to drive traffic there. Yep, the whole here's my Instagram Snapchat but don't add me unless we match BTW. I don't use this much is incredibly annoying, but also thanks in advance for letting me know you've got no substantial personality. Same with no, insert visually identifiable group here. Like, the only purpose those comments serve is to insult people. And I guess throw out some red flags right away to turn off some of the people who would have matched with you otherwise. No muggles. Pure bloods only. Didn't some German guy try this 80 years ago? I had an ex-friend put her FBIQ test results. I suggested that she take it down since her score was 87. And I am not saying that she was stupid, but she did fall for our 1 million visitor website prizes and she got catfished on 3 different occasions. It's okay. She does sound pretty stupid. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Fuck your worst, and fuck your best, too. I read this as I'm an abusive fuck and totally unapologetic about it. No thanks. Or I have the emotional maturity of a 3-year-old. I don't speak broke sorry. Comes from people who literally spend their parents' money. Damn. I think you're right. I only have one anecdote for it, but it was the only woman I went out on a date with that actually said those words halfway through our date. I took it more as a playful joke cause I don't usually assume people can be that harsh on a first date. I asked her previously what she did for a living and she said she had a job influencing fashion on Instagram and she wanted me to follow her. Also found out she still lived at home with her parents. After that night I checked out her IG and she had less than 100 followers, but she drove a Lexus to our date with decals that would imply belonged to a woman of her age, if you know what I mean. I figured she was spending her folks' money after that, never did see her again. I'm not your average bitch. Still a bitch though, definitely still a bitch. And odds are, still average. No drama usually means they are just full of it. They just don't want you to bring your own and sully theirs. This is true 100% of the time for all genders. I probably don't like you. This one makes me want to die every time I see it. You probably don't like me? Bro, how quirky you are. I will never understand why people want to be viewed as an unapproachable and perpetually irritated by the world and all people in it kind of person. It's a great way to attract a really shitty partner, so I guess it makes sense, as the only people who would continue are those who either see it as a challenge or believe they are the 1% who will be liked, aka narcissists and control freaks. When people say only God can judge me every time I see that line, I cringe because I know only foolishness will follow. Your tattoo says only God can judge you yet. Here I am. Gotta say, when I left the house this morning I sure didn't expect to discover my own divinity. But that tattoo is trashy as fuck, so that can only mean one thing I guess. I once saw a profile that said all the countries this girl had visited. Denmark, Sweden, Australia, Cameroon, Thailand, Japan, and many more. Then it said her exes brought her to France and China, which she did not enjoy. She said if you wanted to date her you better bring her to nice places or else. I've got a nice place to bring you, Pennsylvania. Putting that they won't message you first. Like, are you too good to message someone first? Or if you're reading this, odds are I probably hate you. Venmo me $5 and see what happens. Boss babe entrepreneur mommy unique PM for details winky emoji lipstick emoji. Hey Queens equals Cyrillic letter K equals did you know equals that you can make $5 billion equals Cyrillic letter Y equals Cyrillic letter R equals Cyrillic letter R equals Cyrillic letter R from home. Cyrillic letter at every month equals P by simply joining my team equals K. Cyrillic letter K at equals M equals O B equals I equals I equals G equals G equals I equals I equals G equals F and selling this amazing D. Cyrillic letter S equals product. All you have to do equals D equals that is ADD. Lots of people on Facebook that you have one. Cyrillic letter K or 2. Mutual friends with equals I. Cyrillic letter K equals L. Cyrillic letter K equals or message people you haven't talked to in at least 5 years. Saying, hey fatty. You're looking ugly as fuck since high school. How you been girl equals. Do you want to buy my wraps or my pills? You fucking skank equals. Message me for more info equals plus equals L. Cyrillic letter K gross bitch. Zoxoxoxoxo. ILOVE my. 3. Pink Mercedes and I took my family of 38 people to Cancun not once, not twice, but 13 times this past week alone. I also literally cured myself of 8 different kinds of cancer. This could be you. Buy a starter kit at no cost to you except $500. Yeah, any MLM. Any of them. Why did we let them rebrand pyramid schemes as MLM anyway? The best part is when you get corrected. It isn't a pyramid scheme. It's like they've at least learned a pyramid scheme is bad. They just didn't learn what it actually was. It's multi-level marketing which is very dilly. But according to apologists is not at all literally the same fucking thing with a different name. Their PayPal, Apple Pay, link to their Amazon wish list, and LOL it's cause I am a star sign. Never seen this. What does this even mean? That I'm supposed to give some random internet stranger money? Bait for thirsty, pathetic dudes to give them stuff. Does it work? I am not the brightest tool in the shed and I tend to trust people, but this sounds plain stupid. If it didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. For more evidence you really only need to go to Twitch TV during peak US hours and go to just chatting section. Somewhat good looking women will just talk to viewers or do what is essentially softcore camming and get money from really pathetic men. One guy who was affiliated with one gave her $13,000, then got mad when it became public that she was married. CEO of last name, Industries, School of Hard Knocks. When I see self-employed or own my own business but no info on the industry or what they do, my immediate thought is drug dealer. I saw plenty of self-employed people on there who gave some description of what they do for a living, so it seemed sketchy when someone didn't mention the actual job. As a man, whenever I see it on a woman's profile the first thing that comes to mind is an MLM. It's weird cause it's usually the late 20s to mid 30s women with no education. MLMs target poor people and middle-aged women with a need of an ego boost. They create a cult-like atmosphere so they feel they need the MLM. I tell people always to ask do they make more money of the membership fees or the products they sell. Fluent in sarcasm. Just so cheesy and overused. The funny thing is they never are. Anytime they're wearing one of those shirts and are faced with nice shirt bro they take it as a compliment. SMH. Here's my pet theory about fluent in sarcasm. People want to think of themselves as belonging to team something or other, some above average quality. Sarcasm almost never means dry sense of humor in this context. Rather, it's aspiring to some kind of worldly sophistication. Being fluent in sarcasm means they're not a rube, not a fool, not a sucker. Sarcastic people are smarter than that, or so the underlying assumption goes. So this why you get dating profiles that proclaim the writer is fluent in sarcasm with no actual sarcasm in evidence. Easier to say you're on team sarcasm than to actually be sarcastic about anything. Same thing for my friends tell me I'm funny, it's team funny. Easier to wave that self-description than to actually make a joke. And in the last few years, the word sapiosexual has become one way for people to say they're on team smart. Easier to say you're something than to be something, in profile writing as in so much else. I am not like most girls or you know my name not my story. The last one is super cringy. Just why? I'm guessing if she was a story, she'd be a pamphlet. I've seen the word sassy get thrown around a lot, which I've found to be synonymous with I'm needlessly going to be a bitch to you. Agreed. There is a huge difference between sassy and bitchy. I wish more people understood which was which. What about sassy bitch? I'm horrible, but at least you'll laugh after you dump me. Sorry I don't have time to talk since I am on the grind trying to make it big, unlike you guys who keep on sleeping on me. Underdog number 110% quit sleeping. The fuck? Why are you on social media then? When their about me section is just their Venmo account. Every time this happens I request $20 from them. Never gotten paid, but it gives me a chuckle. 90% of what I do on dating apps is just because it makes me laugh. The profiles that say like you have to be this height, this weight or make this income and such. Yeah, roller coasters are the worst. Sorry sir, you aren't rich enough for this roller coaster. Try the merry-go-round. Any profile where the person gives the impression that it is a privilege for you to get a single moment of their time. I feel bad for the women who have never been told they are too outspoken, too bold, too wild, too adventurous, too feisty or too sensual. What boring lives they must live. My heart was never made for a small town, for one-track minded people. I was never made to be confined in a bubble. I knew that back then and I for sure understand even better now. End of story. From a girl I used to work with. I quite often see men posting that they want a woman who is very intelligent but not as smart as me. Of course, I always vomit in my mouth a little. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. If you want a whore, buy her. If you want a queen, earn her. No fass, no femmes, no Asians. Insert generic white guy shirtless holding a fish. Insert generic white guy on a snowboard. No, the dog isn't mine's. If you're under 6 foot, don't message me. My likes, Netflix, wine and app, The Bachelor. Fluent in sarcasm. I'm not an asshole. I'm just honest, blunt to the point, straightforward, keeping it real. I'm a nice guy. When I was online dating, I saw a lot of guys just list that they had a job and paid their own bills in their description. Sometimes with the line, I guess women don't want that anymore, added after it for a little salt. That was it. The fact that they were functional adults paying bills was their whole spiel. They weren't even working high-paying jobs, so it's not like they were trying to go after the gold digger market. Nope, they had a middle-of-the-road entry-level job and paid their bills. That is it. 50% chance there was a picture of them holding a fish. The thing that used to annoy me was when a woman's profile just had a long list of demands. You must be this, and this. Or fuck off, but she put absolutely nothing about what she has to offer in return. Just basically saying, jump through all my hoops to prove you're good enough. No, thanks. Even if I did somehow impress your candy ass, it would just be a never-ending chore of making sure your every whim is catered to, or I'm out. If you don't have a boss baby tattoo, don't bother swiping.